Hi, it's Tootie Tagerly coming to you live from the late morning on Tuesday from San Francisco, the west coast of the United States. Wanted to talk to you today about what I believe are two push-pull points that show up in workplaces and our lives and relationships, which is this tension and pull between freedom and security. I believe that both of these are intrinsic values that we have, wanting the freedom, the autonomy, the ability to do what I please without anyone telling me, and the ability to make choices, set up our vision, do our work with this full level of autonomy. And that's balanced against a need for security. We can call it security, we can call it safety, we can call it support. And that's from a sense of being held and supported by the people around us at work, our peers, by our boss, having that all important relationship with a supportive boss. And then also from the greater company and from the greater community, feeling security because what we personally believe in matches the vision, mission, leadership actions of leaders within that company. And then also, of course, if we're working for someone else, the financial security of a paycheck, of health benefits, all of that. So I believe that many of our workplace conflicts and situations around relationships can be tied back to this balance of freedom and security. And if you look at the different case studies around that, you can maybe understand people around you a little bit better, understand yourself a little better, and learn where to tweak between these two scales and offer up a little more perspective. So I'll take the first workplace example of the brilliant jerk. And many of us know this person. This could be an individual contributor, a lone wolf, perhaps a brilliant designer or engineer who does fantastic work, who really is one of the most brilliant people who you know, highly productive, very intelligent, but isn't afraid to let everyone know that. Maybe a little lower on the empathy and kindness scale. So if we look at the scale of freedom and security and say this person is pretty high on freedom and autonomy. They do what they want and they do it really, really well. Pretty low on the need for security. So this is an individual contributor, lone wolf. Now think about what if there is a brilliant jerk leader, someone who runs their entire department in this kind of, hey, we are going to get results, accomplishments, metrics, have the purity of our ideas stand up over everything else, and we're going to have our department win at all costs. In some companies, this brilliant jerk is the CEO, is the one at the very top. In other companies, it might be the head, a particular leader of a certain division and department. Similar to the lone wolf individual contributor, this person enables a lot of freedom on their team. People can compete, may the best idea win. The atmosphere on their team is pretty much low security, though. It doesn't feel that good if you're constantly in this competition with this high individuality and high freedom, but not necessarily a group collaborative mechanism. So if we think about these two examples, this lone wolf individual contributor or this brilliant jerk as a leader, and you look at freedom and security, the impact on others is often really low freedom. If I get to make a lot of choices and decisions and lay down the law and control how things work, that doesn't leave a lot of freedom for anyone else. And then in terms of security, especially a sense of safety, if there isn't the atmosphere for dissent and productive conversations, if my ideas might get ridiculed and mocked, or if the way that I do my work might get ridiculed and mocked if I am not that brilliant jerk, that's pretty low security. The impact of that on a company is, well, higher attrition. You might get more work done and more short term output, but long term, culturally, process wise, it goes low and people don't want to work in this type of situation. So Looking at security and freedom in case studies of the brilliant jerk, it's not so great. Might be the need to turn down a little bit of the freedom of the brilliant jerk or turn up the autonomy and freedom of others around them, and either way, creating higher security. All right, I'm going to go to a second example because I'm sure we've all been there where, man, there is this meeting or this offsite or this retreat that all these leaders get to go to. And I very much want to be a part of that and part of that in that room. And then think of another perspective. Think of a perspective of the organizer. It might need to be a small meeting because it is a board meeting or a leadership team meeting. We might be short on time and we need to discuss and decide and move things very, very quickly. So if we look at freedom and security, I'd say if you're in this meeting and if it's a meeting that's limited to a couple of key attendees, there's pretty high freedom. Everyone in there is meant to be there. We have things to say. We can state our opinions and make decisions quickly. And also pretty high security. It's a bunch of people like all together that feel like a tight group. So high freedom, high security. But if you flip it, there's a mentality of insiders and outsiders. For the outsiders, the people not attended, not invited to that key meeting, it's pretty much low freedom. Like I want to be there. I want to be in that room and I'm not invited. And then low security, which is what is I don't feel trusted. I don't feel like I'm able to offer up my opinions or give impact to this. And how you mitigate this is a couple of different things. You might have to have this key meeting. You might have to have smaller attendees because you can't have the whole company in every single meetings. How you kind of open this up, I kind of pull the curtains back is by pretty openly sharing what happens afterwards. Maybe sharing the debates and perspectives and opinions, the yays, the nays, and the actual decision and the rationale behind it. Something one of my other clients does is they have leadership team meetings, but every other meeting, they open it up to the next level down to come in, have them present, have them share their ideas. So it provides a way for the outsiders who aren't core members of this key meeting to bump up their sense of freedom, bump up their sense of security. All right, the last example case study that I'm going to give is that as a leader, you might have a team member who needs help. And there's a bunch of different scenarios where this could happen. It could be they are onboarding, they're brand new to the company, so they need a lot of help and support. It could be they are working on a new project or a new space that they don't have the background or space in. So I've worked with many, many leaders who are servant leaders who have this like fierce sense of, I want to support my team and have a fear. The fear is, I don't want to be a micromanager. I want to let my team members figure it out, give them the ultimate freedom for that. Does any of that sound familiar? And yes, that is great. Once your team member is up and running, able to go on their own. But sometimes in these periods of just uncertainty and stress because they've just started a new job or because they are expanding their skills to try anything different, you got to turn up that security a lot more, turn down the freedom a bit and turn up the security a lot more. Not to the micromanaging stage. I think we can all be very, very wary of that, but provide a safety net, guardrails, support to say, hey, you got this. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay. I can be a second pair of eyes, a second pair of hands. You can debate items off me. You have the freedom. You have the autonomy to do this. I trust you. I give you that. And I can turn up a little bit of the support there. All right. So This quick live was about balancing freedom and security because I believe if you look at these two values and you can look at almost every single workplace situation, conflict, whatever it is, and say, well, for the people involved, where are they on this continuum of freedom and security? And then for the people who they impact, where are they on this thread of freedom and security? And we looked at three examples: the example of a brilliant jerk, the example of limiting attendees at a key meeting, and then finally the example of a team member who needs help. And what I believe is when you look at freedom versus security, you can open up different perspectives, and that can often open up new solutions, new ways to move forward with the particular issue at hand. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you soon. I'm traveling next week, but I'll see you soon. All right, bye.